to essentially go in there and prove that Joe Scarborough had nothing to do with this. And if there is an open cold case against Joe Scarborough, then that very well could trigger just a complete renewal of the investigation, a public renewal of the investigation. And then he would have to be worrying about court cases on two fronts, both a criminal and a civil case, and he would look to possibly lose both.
Right, and just real quick to the point, I see a lot of people in the chat asking about my YouTube channel. I don't have any videos on it yet, but I am dropping the link aggressively in the chat right now so you guys have it, and I guess we'll maybe add it to the bio of the future videos and stuff so people can have that. But to that point, a couple things, and I know our favorite Anons brought it up, but we can also just look at history and say anything Trump brings up, does he say anything that doesn't come true or lead to something that is true that he's hinting at and stuff like that. So, and also there's another point I've seen flowing around that, this would be a dangerous move if there wasn't anything and Trump is just speculating, during the election year. Because, what has came out today that the widower of the intern is calling for Trump's Twitter account to get taken down.
Right.
And so, to me, it's very telling that they're going after the mouthpiece of the information, not defending necessarily the information being wrong or whatever. So I find it very telling that Trump is doing this. That means that there's something to it. And the fact that he was talking about it, and then we randomly get the cold case of FOIA drop, and he's been talking about this for a few weeks now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then now we get the FOIA coming out. It's very interesting that, Trump knows something and has known it because he won't. Like, I've even seen Republicans asking him to stop talking about it because it's dangerous for the election year. And he just keeps going. So there is something to it. And I'm going to drop the link from our buddy Mike Bravo that has the information, the PDF of that cold case file.
I'd like to know who actually filed this FOIA request. Who sought this information out?
Absolutely. I'd be curious about that. Mike was the first one that I saw, talk about it, and he's been on top of it. So shout out to Mike. Give him a follow. He's definitely good on Twitter. He works really, really hard.
Yeah, Mike is a great guy. So, I'm looking at the PDF right here, and, it's pretty dry. It's in all caps. It's, just a description. Okay, so the injury is to the back of the head. Now, if somebody passes out, wouldn't you expect them to, fall forward? If you're standing up, I suppose falling backwards, it could happen, but if I see somebody walking around an office, I'm trying to determine exactly where in the office it was.
It feels to me just like the Epstein bunk bed story. It's like, really? I can't really buy it because it's in the top of the skull, top right of the skull.
Oh,
which would be, yeah, that's what it was saying. That's what I got from a little bit that I was reading.
Yeah.
So that to me would be like how with all the memes are talking about blunt force trauma, blunt force attack. So I'm not necessarily buying it. And how about we go ahead and ask the chat? What do you guys think? I know a lot of us already assume so, but the idea that, do you think that Joe did it? Do you think that it was a cover-up? Do you think that she found information that was going on and they were trying to pay her? Because I'm seeing discussions and chatter. I don't have any sauce to bring at the moment, so feel free to debunk it. I'm seeing chatter and stuff that she had a salary offer recently during that time. Was the salary not enough? Was it considered a bribe? But I'm very interested to see. Was there more to this story? I know Anons are digging into her husband because the husband's now actively calling for Trump's Twitter to get taken down. I don't even know if he was asking for an apology. They wanted to just keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious about that. And also, Lizard P brought this out. It's an interesting thought that this was months before Never Forget Day happened. So wondering if there was some information that she figured out during that stuff because of the military connection and all of that. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that rather than looking at information, they want to immediately jump to censorship. If this was something that had no meat, you would expect that the very first thing somebody like Joe Scarborough would do would be to file a suit against President Trump. I mean, he's been so vocal about it. It's been all over Twitter. The